Welcome to the Starfleet Training Simulator. Our system is currently configured to train command crew of Aegis-class starships. Here you may learn about the roles and responsibilities of each officer on the bridge, and how to operate all of the controls of their command stations. Feel free to experiment and get comfortable with the ship here in the simulator before moving on to the real thing. As the tactical officer, you are in charge of the ship's weapons, defenses, and scanners. In combat situations, you must coordinate with the rest of the bridge crew to protect the ship and deal with any threats to it. But you also have a crucial role in non-combat situations. It is the tactical officer's responsibility to scan nearby ships and other objects in the environment to reveal vital information about them. Photon torpedoes are a devastating weapon. They can automatically track a moving target and deliver heavy damage on impact. However, before you can fire them, you must first give the order to arm them. Arm your torpedoes now. Each torpedo tube takes time to load. Your supply of torpedoes for any mission is limited, so use them wisely. Target the nearby ship and fire torpedoes at it. Phasers are a versatile energy weapon. They continually charge over time, and when fully charged, your phaser banks hold enough energy to fire multiple shots at your target. Phaser banks automatically track your target, but only if it is within the indicated firing arc and within the current range of your weapons. The effective range and damage of your phasers is controlled by the amount of energy the Chief Engineer allocates to them. Target the nearby ship and fire phasers at it. Phasers can be used to precisely target weak spots on another vessel. To use this ability, you must first scan the desired subsystem of a target, such as its weapons or engines. Once scanned, you must then select that system. As long as a scanned system is selected, phasers will auto-target that system's weak points. To hit a subsystem, the target's shields must be down or inactive. Second, your ship must be correctly facing the targeted point. If the target's shields are raised, or you are attacking from the wrong angle, firing in subsystem targeting mode will do minimal damage. When dealing with other ships, targeting individual systems is a good way to disable them or neutralize a threat without outright destroying the ship. This may sometimes be necessary to accomplish your Scan the ship's engines now to reveal their status and any weak points which would allow you to damage the engines directly. Now select the ship's weapon systems to lock on to their weak points. Your phasers are now in subsystem targeting mode. Fire them for a precision attack. Until the target's shields are down, you will not be able to hit the targeted system. Good. Damage the targeted system. Various systems of the ship affect how easily other vessels can detect the Aegis. The Aegis is designed to avoid detection at ranges where other Federation vessels would be easily visible to another ship's sensors. As tactical officer, arming torpedoes, firing weapons, and activating shields will each make the ship detectable from greater distances. To reduce the ship's signature, disarm torpedoes and lower shields now. The Aegis's prototype remote intrusion system can be used to send encoded signals and disrupt critical systems of other ships. Before it can be used, the tactical officer must scan the target. Once a scanned target is selected, an intrusion into its control systems is attempted via an automated routine. If successful, you may then choose to attempt any of the available disruption routines to temporarily cripple a specific system. Activate the remote intrusion system. Target a nearby ship by tapping its icon on the map. Select a scan target. Choose a disruption routine to inject into the target systems. Very good, but once used, the remote intrusion system will be fully occupied and unable to disrupt another target or system for some time. Your ship is equipped with standard transporters for beaming objects or personnel aboard from other vessels or locations. Transporting first requires the tactical officer to scan the target vessel or location. If any mission-critical items or personnel to transport, the target will appear on the transporter interface. It will take time to acquire a lock-on before you can beam, and you must remain in range for the lock to succeed. The transporter cannot penetrate through your ship's own shields or those of another ship, so you must coordinate with tactical to make sure your shields are down when you need to transport. If you are attempting to beam something from a hostile vessel, your crew will first have to disable its shields. Activate the transporter interface. Target a nearby ship by tapping its icon on the map. Select the damaged ship from the list of targets. Lock onto the survivors aboard the ship to prepare for transport. To lock on, your ship must be in transport range and unshielded. The target's shield, if any, must also be down. Transporter lock on the survivors. Give the order to energize. The survivors are now safely aboard the Aegis, but you can only transport 6 at a time. Anytime there are more than 6 targets to transport from a single vessel, you will need to perform multiple transport cycles. As Chief Engineer, you support all other members of the bridge crew by keeping the Aegis operating in top condition. You monitor vital status information about the ship's systems, allocate power needed for maneuvering and combat, and manage the ship's power grid to compensate for damage or boost its capabilities. You also manage the ship's repair teams and keep an eye on how visible the Aegis is to other ships in the area. Your systems display gives vital information about the status of the ship's various systems at all times. When your ship is suffering from negative effects, this panel provides information about the source and severity of the effect. As Chief Engineer, you have more detail about your ship's status than any other member of the crew. Activate your systems display now. How you allocate power determines how effective each of those systems is. As situations change, you'll need to communicate with the rest of the crew to keep them supplied with power and to anticipate when to make critical adjustments. One of your most essential responsibilities as Chief Engineer is to distribute available power between each of the ship's major systems. Try giving maximum power to engines now. Now try giving maximum power to shields. You will have to reduce power to other systems first. Before the ship can travel between star systems, you must make the ship ready and charge its warp coils. This draws a tremendous amount of power, and you will be unable to make any further changes to power allocation or routing while prepping for warp. Begin preparing for warp now. Charge the warp coils. The helmsman will have a limited time to engage the warp drive, or the coils will automatically discharge to prevent damage to the ship.
Warp coils charged.
When the ship sustains damage, it's up to you to deploy repair crews and get critical systems back in working order. You have a limited number of crews available. You may send multiple crews to repair a single system faster, or you may spread them out to work on multiple systems at once. Activate your repair controls now. We have simulated damage to your phaser banks and scanners. Assign repair crews to both systems to get them back to full working condition.
Phaser array restored. Sensor array restored.
It's possible to increase the power to one or more systems beyond normal safe operating limits by rerouting the ship's power grid. Switch to rerouting mode now. Try diverting extra power to shields by dragging an adjacent power node over to it. You have increased maximum shield strength by drawing some power from other systems. This situation is risky, though. The extra power flowing through those conduits could cause internal damage. When you use the rerouting system, you must keep an eye on the power grid and be ready to make changes as needed.
Warning. Exceeding ship tolerance.
Various systems of the ship affect how easily other vessels can detect the Aegis. The Aegis is designed to avoid detection at ranges where other Federation vessels would be easily visible to another ship's sensors. As Chief Engineer, you can monitor all systems which are affecting the ship's signature and gauge the range at which the Aegis will be detectable to other vessels. This information is vital when trying to avoid contact with hostile ships.